If I were to ask the question, what's the 4 most common addictive drugs in the world, what would your guess be? Alcohol, nicotine, caffeine and coffee and tea, but what's the 4th? It's not cannabis, it's not coke. I mean, I don't know why I'm building it up. You know what it is. It's betel nut, which is crazy. Hey sisters, it's time for a disclaimer. Like always, I will be actually doing this substance throughout the video, and it's 100% legal where I live and in most places around the world, but I do not recommend anyone do this one. As you're going to see in the video, this stuff is legitimately dangerous. Not cute dangerous, but if you don't know what you're doing, you can really hurt yourself, and if you do it for a long time, you'll for sure hurt yourself, probably. This video is probably gonna be demonetized, meaning I'm not saying this for YouTube guidelines, I'm saying this for actual, seriously don't do this. Okay, bye-bye. What's crazy about it is if you're from the West like me, you have never heard of it probably. I've never heard of it and I'm a pretty major drug nerd. It's so common, it's used by 600 million people around the world. Of all the stupid shit I've done, all the plants that I've tried, I'm probably most excited to try this betel nut because 1, it's very old. It's been used for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and so we have documentation that we can go down crazy rabbit holes with. 2, it's a really complex drug. It's morally complex and culturally complex, but even the way you prepare it is complex. It's different places do it differently. There's an art form to doing it depending on who you ask, and even the chemistry behind it is just weird. As you'll see, it's not one of those things you just do. There's a whole thing you gotta learn about before you do it. And 3, and most importantly, it's pretty addictive from my research, meaning it's probably a little bit fun. I'm filming in my mom's house for this episode. So what is betel nut? Betel nut is actually a bit of a misnomer because it makes it sound like it's one thing, but it's actually 3 things. To make the betel nut drug, you need a betel leaf, which this is not a betel leaf. This is a random leaf I found, but the betel leaf is on its way from the mail. The second ingredient is calcium hydroxide, which is, we'll get into this. And the last ingredient is an areca nut. Now, how you make it depends on where you are because there's so many cultures that do it in so many different ways. But the basic formula is you take the leaf, then sprinkle or put the calcium hydroxide on the leaf, and then finally wrap it in the areca nut in the middle, and then you just pop it in and chew. The best cultural comparison I can bring it to is chewing tobacco. It often is compared to that, often is used in the same way. People just kind of do it all day, every day to get through the day, and even kind of how it feels is somewhat similar to chewing tobacco. But before we make our first betel nut, let's first learn about the ingredients, starting with calcium hydroxide. The reason we're starting with calcium hydroxide is because it's not something you play with. This shit is dangerous as fuck if you don't do it right. Another name for calcium hydroxide is slaked lime, which you might know. Slaked lime is the same thing as quicklime or calcium oxide that has been hydrated with water to make calcium hydroxide. Oh, and you little kids have been in my comment section. We want the nerdy shit. Give us the nerdy shit. Okay, fine. We're going full nerd this episode. Let's see how my retention goes. You better stick around, okay? Because I don't think you guys can handle the nerdy stuff, but we're gonna try this one. For extra credit, quicklime or lime is just, you can make it in a few ways, but taking limestone or seashells, crushing them up, heating it up really hot, and then you have calcium oxide, which can be used in a number of different applications around the world and has been done for, I think, millennia, very long time. Slaked lime is very basic, very, very basic. And one of the most common applications in food is during the process of nixtamalization. That might sound like a modern thing, but it's a very ancient practice, especially in South America, where you can take corn, make using calcium oxide, calcium hydroxide. With water, you mix it up and you boil the corn, and what that basic solution does is it breaks down a lot of proteins, it breaks down a lot of cell walls, and it makes it more nutrients. It makes it softer so you can grind up better. It makes it more flavorful, and so that's nixtamalization. But back to betel quid, if you ask most users why they use this stuff, they're probably not gonna be able to tell you why because they don't know why, but they just know that it makes the drug hit stronger. But, as I said, this shit is not a fucking joke. It's not cute basic. It's causing damage basic if you do it wrong. I know this because a few days ago, I tried my first betel nut with another YouTuber, and
Here. Fuck. Are you good, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm actually just shocked.
Oh my god. This is so... Oh, it stings too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
You good?
You get the chemical burns on camera? Oh shit, that's burning the fuck out of my tongue. Oh, I'm glad I spit that shit out.
Do you feel anything?
Not a goddamn thing.
That is what we call a caustic burn, and that was painful as fuck. I still have the burns on the inside of my mouth and tongue. It's pretty bad. It was 4 days ago, and it's pretty bad. The next ingredient is a betel leaf, but it's kind of the most confusing ingredient. The betel leaf in Eastern tradition is kind of one of those plants, you know, it cures this, it cures that. If you have cancer, it'll cure that. If it has this, it's like kind of the answer to all type of drugs.
If you put it on water, the stem will always point towards the north. You know this? If you put it in the water, in still water, it will naturally turn this way and point to the north.
Yeah, not to be a hater, but that's north. That is not north. Why would you even make a claim like that? Like, it's so easily tested. Why would you make that claim? But probably its most popular use case is with the betel quid concoction, but exactly why everyone uses that, to me initially, was very unclear. For one, as you see, you don't actually need that leaf to do the whole concoction. You can get just as messed up without it, and it doesn't, it's not a necessary ingredient, but everyone seems to use it. So there's a couple theories on why people use it. One of the most popular theories I heard is that it has its own stimulant effect within it, but as I researched it, I could find no chemical that was in it that would have any stimulant effect, so I don't think that's it. The second theory is that somehow when everything's put together, there's something in the leaf that adds to the concoction to kind of make it more bioavailable or something, and I have no evidence that that's not the case, but I also have no evidence that that is the case too, so. The third theory that I initially came up with is that they've been using betel leaf in this practice for over 1,000 years, like well over 1,000 years. So maybe it's just tradition. People are just playing into the tradition, but there's no reason why everyone, all 600 million people, would just follow tradition blindly. So there has to be a reason, right? Well, luckily we found out, and I'm not gonna spoil the surprise, but the betel leaf is pretty essential. When covering topics that span the globe like this, it can be really hard to decipher what is fact and what is heavily biased, and that's especially true for psychoactive substances. Sometimes you need a little bit more information about the news that we consume. Thankfully, Ground News has us covered. Yes, this is a sponsored ad read. Don't you dare click away. This is my first sponsor. I'm very proud of this. You better watch the whole thing. I don't know if I can swear. Ground News is a website and app that gathers related articles from more than 50,000 sources around the world to give readers an easy and data-driven way to read the news. Every story comes with a clear breakdown of the political bias, reliability, and ownership, all backed by ratings from 3 independent news monitoring organizations. Let me show you an example of how it works. In the US, overdoses have been decreasing for the first time since 2018. Ground News shows that 89 sources have been reporting on this, with 35% leaning left and only 7% leaning right. You can even compare headlines to show how bias can affect the framing of the story. For this story, you'll find that most of the headlines are pretty similar, but that doesn't mean the articles focus on the same things. Using their bias comparison feature, which highlights specific differences in reporting, here I can see that the left generally focuses on the complexity of this issue, while the right generally focuses on the disparity of the crisis among different states. One of my favorite features is their blind spot feed, which shows you stories disproportionately covered by one side of the political spectrum. It can be legitimately hard nowadays to decipher the bias of information, but luckily Ground News does really try its best to show everyone the bigger picture and the full picture. Also, if you have any friends or family, let's say, I don't know, a crazy uncle who likes to send you a lot of articles from a very specific one side of the political spectrum, and you want to, let's say, gently remind him that there are other perspectives and maybe he should read a little bit more diverse literature, I think a Ground News subscription might be a very cute way to subtly suggest that. Go to https ground news Go to ground.news/metabachet or use the link in the video description to subscribe today. If you sign up through my link, you'll get 40% off the Vantage plan, which is what I use to get access to all their features. I'm legitimately very proud that they are my first sponsor. I think they're actually doing really cool stuff and I stand by what they're doing. And I'm very grateful for them sponsoring this video. So thank you, Ground News, and thank you for sticking around because you better not have fucking skipped. Now the last ingredient to betel quid is the areca nut, and this is where all the magic happens. These are fresh nuts that I got shipped to me, and within each of these nuts contains the compound Arecoline, or Arecoline. I don't know how to pronounce it. There's a number of other compounds in it, but the major one we're concerned with is arecoline. And what it acts on in our brain is the acetylcholine muscarinic M1, M2, M3 receptors, which what that means, I don't know. I have zero clue. But what's interesting about it is that these act on a receptor that I don't know of any drug personally that acts on the same receptor. It's not similar to caffeine or nicotine, kava or kratom or anything like that. It's its own thing. So this experience should be quite unique, something I've never experienced before. So let's try one, but let's start with just the areca nut by itself and see what it's like. Okay, a lot of people bite off this part, so I'm gonna try that. Oh God, oh my God. That is exceptionally, it's like the tannins, like it's like astringent. It's just like, it's really stringent. I think that's the word. It makes your mouth super dry. Let's try it in half. Oh, it's really juicy, that's disgusting. Oh, wow. Oh my God, it's really bitter and really juicy and disgusting. Oh my, My mouth is so dry and the outside is so hard. The fuck is that? My throat feels really weird, like it's closing up kinda. I don't feel overtly high on anything, but what I will say is I feel a little warm. And it's not placebo, it's definitely the chemical. I feel spacey. My throat, it's terrible in the throat. It's fucking bad. As far as my body though, it's just, I think it's like a relaxing warm, not like kratom warm or like an opioid warm. It's a different type of warm. Yeah, but very subtle effect. Nothing crazy. Now that I understood the basics of it, the next step was to actually learn about how it's done from people who actually do it. And luckily, my family knows a guy, Bill, who moved to Yap, married someone from Yap, and lived the last 40 years doing betel nut in Yap.
Okay, what can we do for you?
I wanted to ask some questions about, for one, how did you do it? Did you get the fresh nut? Did you do a dried nut? Did you use...
That's a betel nut. Now, in Yap, you chew the fresh nuts. So you chew it, and then you have a pepper leaf and put lime on it. Most people use tobacco as well, but it's fresh.
Do you cut the betel nut in half, or the areca nut in half, and then put the lime?
Okay, it depends. If the betel nut's really big, you would cut it in half and just chew half of it. If you're like me, where the lime really easily burns you, I split it in half and put the lime inside the nut and then wrap that up.
Do women do it too, or is it just men usually?
Oh no, it starts at about 4 years old. It's everybody, men and women. When do they? Hold on, I don't think 4 might be too early.
It might be too early. Yeah, but most of the kids they chew just the nut, because when you put everything together, that's when you get all the chemical reaction out of, and you get high.
For perspective, they're from one of the many countries that do betel quid, and so the way that they do it is totally different than how they do it in Bangladesh or India or Pakistan or Taiwan. It's so big. Watch. This is a full-blown product that is just pure dried areca nuts that have been seasoned with sweetness and menthol, so you can just easily pop it in and like prepare a quick betel quid. It's crazy. Actually, let me show you how insane this is. It smells so good. Look. And each of these is like seasoned areca nuts that's been dried. So a lot of different places have totally different practices. So your mouth was always burnt from the lime?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Is that just you, or is that everyone?
Everybody. It's pretty much everybody.
When you're a betel nut chewer, you just don't chew one. You have a betel nut
all day long.
Yeah, all day long in your mouth.
How many betel nuts do you think you go through in a day?
Oh, I think there's times if I was having a stress, a lot of things in the office, I would maybe 60 a day.
Oh, so it's not 1 or 2 a day. It's a lot.
Oh, no, not at all. And when you, the high that we're talking about, when you chew regularly, you don't get high. It's a taste. It's everyone else is doing it, so you're sharing something, sharing an experience.
Did people know that it caused cancer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now.
But it's like everybody, it'll happen to the other guy. It won't happen to me.
Yeah, cancer. What makes betel quid such a complicated conversation is that it's been used in Asia for thousands of years. There's records of, in Philippines, a guy having stained teeth that potentially from doing betel quid from 5,000 years ago. It is an ancient, very cultural practice that it means a lot to a lot of people, but it is very carcinogenic. And luckily, it's not a mystery how it's carcinogenic. There's actually been a lot of studies that we know exactly how it causes cancer, so let's go over some of them. To start with the role of lime on your health, lime, if you do it every day in your mouth, will take away your taste. It makes your mouth just completely messed up from all of just the, it's a harsh chemical. And I found one study that claimed that actually lime can increase oxidative stress on the DNA in your mouth, therefore increasing your chances of cancer. Another study from Papua New Guinea found that there's a certain type of oral cancer very common there, and it's very much correlated to the exact place where people put the lime in their mouth. And that's just the lime. Wait till we get to the areca nut. I read a lot of studies and there's a lot of information out there, but let's just go through some of the things that they found that the areca nut, the ingredients, can do to your body. Enhanced DNA strand breaks, reduction of cell viability and increase of unscheduled DNA synthesis observed. Cell growth suppression, decrease of mitochondrial activity, increased HPRT mutations, DNA protein cross-linking, cell cycle arrest, tissue hypoxia, which promotes malignant transformation. Liver cirrhosis. Reduction in beneficial bacteria in the oral microbiome, leading to an oral inflammation and oxidative stress. Increase in harmful bacteria such as that. There's one study that literally tested everything. They had the Arecoline extract. They had it in water and alcohol. They had an isolate. They injected into liver cells. They injected it in vitro in all these different types of cells to make sure that what's causing the cancer. And just pretty much in every case, it causes cancer. It's really bad. Weirdly enough, betel leaf might be ever so slightly anti-carcinogenic, so yeah. So you might be thinking, Meta, then why are you doing this episode? Well, I actually already had cancer as a child, so pretty sure cancer is kind of like chickenpox, where once you get it, you're like kind of set, like you're kind of immune, so suck it.
Haha, that's a joke. I did actually have cancer, but that's not how cancer works. I'm pretty sure I have a higher chance of getting cancer now. I'm just stupid. That's why I'm doing this video.
But now that we have all the information, I think it's time to give this stuff the good college try. We still don't have the betel leaf, but that's for the finale of the video. This is Cousin Dilly Willy.
What's going on?
This is not a betel leaf, by the way. This is a random leaf I found, but
It's gonna make a difference.
it might. That's part of science.
You're supposed to cut it like that?
This is one of the ways. There's a lot of different ways to do it, depending on the culture.
Oh.
It's done by 600 million people.
You're gentrifying betel nut, right?
You guys are all kind of doing it wrong for the last
Doing it
2,000
wrong,
years?
yeah.
Yeah. It's like almost like guava looking.
Oh, you know what? It does smell like, it smells like almost like a tea.
Okay. Wrap it in a random leaf. Hopefully this leaf is not poisonous, but we will see.
We will see.
Do you even know what kind of a leaf it is?
Not really. It's the one outside my mom's house. I think it's a rhododendron, so it might have granotoxin in it, but you know, that's kind of the process.
What?
Okay, ready?
I just put it in and then what?
And then just start chewing.
This is disgusting. Oh. What the fuck? Do you swallow all the juice?
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, after some research, you don't have to swallow the juice. I probably should have researched that a little bit better.
It just tastes like, ew. It's just like you got a bunch of shit in the woods and just like shoved it in your mouth. Like,
A few minutes later.
Oh, I'm feeling it. Wow. It's like a popper, bro.
yeah, it's sick.
It's like my whole body is like overheating. My head is like super warm. I'm just lightheaded. It's I don't know if I do this every day.
I kind of like it. The taste is so foul.
It's foul.
Honestly, it's like a little bit like overdose of nicotine.
Do you feel dizzy?
Oh, fuck yeah. Hold on. Okay. Take a break. Oh my god, that is strong. Do you feel it in your throat?
Yeah, it's all dry and
It's so dry. Like you can't swallow it, yeah.
Probably could have been avoided if we didn't swallow, but you know, that's why you do research.
Ooh, it's feeling even nicer now. Wow, now I feel it in the body. The body feels like it's like euphoric. Like I'm like, it's like really good tobacco. Like a really good.
I can
nicotine.
see how this is like nicotine.
This is fun. This is kind of nice.
It jazzed me up before, but now it's really relaxing me. Why does it turn your teeth black?
Dylan's question puzzled me for a while because a telltale sign of someone who does betel nut every day is that they have blackened or red-brown teeth. It's very evident. And anytime someone is doing betel nut, their mouth turns like almost a bloody red with this like red fluid. But we were having none of that even though we were getting very high. So I was wondering, was maybe the nuts that I was using old, maybe some ingredient I was missing, right? But Bill's son Nathan actually answered this for us. I don't understand why people use the betel leaf, like why the leaf is so important, because it doesn't add to anything from my experience.
Well, a lot of people don't chew the leaf. I mean, they think that because when you put all of them together, you get the red chemical reaction in your mouth. If you exclude the leaf, you don't get that, but you still get some teeth staining.
But without the leaf, it's bitter.
Yeah,
Really bitter.
without the leaf, all you're tasting is the nut. You're not that pepper leaf actually gives it a little bit of a better taste, really.
So we finally had our answer. The betel leaf is not only causing the red staining apparently, but on top of that, it's adding a flavor. And once the betel leaf came for me to try, it all started to make sense for me. I got a big bag of fresh betel nuts and I'm so excited to try them. That's a betel nut, or betel leaf. Smells like a leaf, nothing too interesting. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's so, whoa. Betel leaf has a few very interesting compounds in it, but one of them is eugenol, which is found in cinnamon, cloves, and bay leaf, which is that real spicy woof, and you can very much taste it when you eat one. That, I was not expecting that, holy shit. That does not taste like a leaf. The texture's really nice, like it's like flexible, I can see how it would be like a good wrapper. But what threw me off is that it hits you with a strong, peppery, vividly like salami. It tastes exactly like I'm eating like a thing of salami. It's exactly that. It goes numb, like your mouth goes kind of numb. Is it, am I red? No? I'm going to try the betel nut with the whole concoction. Okay, let's get a small betel nut, take off the head, split it. To give you a better look what the betel nut looks like inside. Split this off. Ooh, I'm getting the hang of this shit. Okay, hold on. And let's also get one of these. Oh, it smells so good. It smells like rose water and a little bit of cinnamon, and it's very sweetly seasoned. Okay, we're gonna sprinkle this in there. Put a little bit of lime. Okay, let me show you my concoction. We got a betel quid. Oh, this is gonna be intense. This is gonna schmack. Okay. Ah! Okay. This flavor is actually kind of nice. Oh, it's really flavorful. It's really nice. And it's fucking up my mouth. Oh my God, that shit. It's really strong. But I feel like it feels like my breath would be really fresh right now, which is what some people really use this for. The heat's coming, my head's getting lightheaded. This is really strong. Okay. My heart rate is increasing really fast. Oh my God, this is strong. Oh shit, okay, hold on. My shit's kind of red, bro. Oh my God, whoa. This is getting intense. Oh, I'm sweating. Ooh. The room is spinning a little bit. Holy shit, what the fuck? This feeling happened only within 3 to 4 minutes of me chewing this stuff, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that it was very intense. Oh my God, this is a drug, holy fuck. Are my eyes dilated or something? Ooh, I feel shaky. Ooh. Guys, what the fuck? This is so intense. Oh, wow. It's, wow. My face feels like took a fuck ton of capsaicin, like some hot sauce that fucked me up. I can't really focus on anything. Oh my gosh, my vision is blurry and darty. I can focus on the camera a little bit. But like, oh my God, my long distance is fucked. Like it's just blurry. Oh, come on, ooh, come on. Shh. Okay, there we go. That's hard to fight. That's, ooh. It's just not a fucking joke. Oh my gosh. This is so much. It starts in the head. It has this rush of heat to the head, first symptom. Oh my God, I'm really sweating. I'm really hot. And then like this head rush similar to nicotine where you're really lightheaded and like woozy. And now, as more time passes, it hits my body now. And my body is like, ooh, it's nice. It's like right after a workout, that like endorphin, like you're just like, ooh. To be a little blunt, I'm curious on how it would feel like during sex. It's been around 6-7 minutes and I'm like coming down. Like I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like ooh, God. Get like a rush of chill down my spine. Wow, that is super intense. Wow. All of the ingredients started to finally make sense to me at this point. The nut had the Arecoline, the good stuff that got you high. The betel leaf was not only a wrapper, but also was a strong, breath-freshening, kind of nice flavor to add to it. That also somehow caused the red coloring, but when you chewed it alone, it didn't cause the red coloring. That's still a mystery. I really tried to experiment with that, and I got nowhere. It's something weird's going on, I don't know what it is. And finally, the lime seems to be somehow activating or making the stuff bioavailable for us to get high. And what exactly the lime is doing is a bit of a mystery. Like, I'm sure someone knows out there. If you do, please comment. But I found a lot of different sources saying tons of different things. Some people say the burns it causes in your mouth makes the Arecoline go through the bloodstream, which personally I think that might contribute, but I don't think that's the major thing. My personal theory is it might be nixtamalization. It might be breaking down certain cell walls in the nut and certain proteins to make the drug more bioavailable to us, but I don't know. So my last step to the mission was to show Dylan how the correct way to do it, and we had a full experience to finish it off. So we have Supari.
It's almost like that bahur, like that.
Oh, like the Arab smell.
You're doing that whole thing?
Yeah, bro.
Why aren't we just doing like this? No?
Because I'm not a pussy?
Okay.
We'll see about that. So we got a full nut each, and one of these packs, which is even more.
This is just flavoring it.
No, it's more drugs. This is Arecoline.
Wait. This is a drug?
This is Arecoline. This is this, but dried.
Holy shit, so why don't we just suck on these?
Because you need the lime.
So why are we topping it with more fucking beef?
Because we're badass. The fuck?
This is ridiculous.
And bon appetit. Cheers.
Oh, fuck. Shit. For me, it's just like, it's like a shitload of nicotine. I mean, it's different, but it's still that like, you're focused.
It's a shit ton of nicotine if it didn't make you sick.
I know, that's why I love it.
Yeah, dude, some people have like big old balls, like I did too much, but some people have like a quarter of a nut, and that's what's in their shit.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
but you want to go fucking balls deep.
I'm trying to peer pressure you for content, bro.
Oh, I see.
You puke, I get more money.
The body high is a little bit like pot, but remember pot, there's so much in your head and brain. None of that in the brain. I just mean the body. I mean, I do have very relaxed, very chill, a little bit of focus. It's not as much, caffeine or cocaine like I thought it would be. It's a little, I can see.
Dylan's reaction was lame. He did not puke. So to finish off, let me say this stuff, this betel nut stuff, it's a good 6 out of 10. It's a C tier drug. There's tons of products that are made all around the world they're so diverse. The history is so rich. the drug is pretty mid. Like it feels good, but I'd be totally cool if I never did it again. But if I was in Taiwan and someone offered it to me, I'd probably do it. I didn't want to make this video too long, but the history is so cool with betel nut. I mean, like how royalty used to do it in certain countries. And if you're interested in that stuff, I'll attach some PDFs in my Patreon, and you can subscribe and then you can read about it. It's really, really cool stuff. If you're struggling with betel nut addiction, it is definitely one of those things that you should take an initiative to get off. It could ruin your life. It's not worth it. Thanks again for Ground News for being my first official sponsor. Peace.